Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Chicago. We are at Guaranteed Rate Field, second game of a 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox. The Blue Jays lost a heartbreaker last night. The Jays had a 6-0 lead. The White Sox came back, scored a run in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, and 2 in the 9th to win it. John Gibbons had a good lead and saw the bullpen, which has been very good, cough it up late in the game.
Yeah, Joe Biagini gave up some runs. Ryan Tepera gave up a home run. Roberto Osuna with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they got walked off, something that they were doing with regularity when they are at home. Doesn't feel good when it comes back at you.
Big Mike Pelfrey will take the mound for the White Sox as John Gibbons has put together this lineup tonight. Jose Bautista hitting in the leadoff spot, then Russell Martin. Josh Donaldson over his last 5 games, 6 for 19. Got double a pair of home runs. He hit one of 3 home runs the Blue Jays hit in last night's game. And Steve Pearce this season against Chicago, 4 for 8. With a double, a home run, a pair of RBIs. Pearce in last night's game was 0 for 2 with a couple of walks.
They're set to face Mike Pelfrey, his 20th game, 17th start of the season. He tries to go 6 innings for the first time since his last start, incidentally, was against the Blue Jays when he allowed a run back at Rogers Center on June the 17th. That also is the last time Pelfrey won a ball game. The White Sox have lost his last 5 starts. This season here at home, Pelfrey is 1-4 in 10 games. Something to keep an eye on, though. He has given up 10 home runs here in just 43 innings. Jays hit 3 solo home runs last night. They might be in line for some home runs this evening.
Defensively, the White Sox have had a tough season. They've committed 79 errors. A little bit different lineup in the outfield. Nicky Delmonico in left field is making his major league debut. Avery Garcia moves to center, and Jose Abreu, the veteran, over at first.
Yeah, really the only guy left over, if you will, for the Chicago White Sox after they've gotten rid of all their veteran players. Abreu, 8 errors, tied for the most as a first baseman in the American League. He can swing the bat. He has been involved in the most double plays in the American League as a first baseman. He's set up in his position.
About 3 o'clock, we had a terrific thunderstorm here. Neither club hit on the field. They had the tarp on the field, and then it cleared up, and it turned into a gorgeous evening here. 27 degrees at the start of play tonight. Pelfrey checking with his first baseman. The White Sox playing Bautista in a shift. Pelfrey's got the side. Here's the first pitch of the game, and Bautista pops it out of play. Jose last night 0 for 5 in the ball game. He's just 1 for 8 for his career against Mike Pelfrey, but that one hit was a home run. This is the same pitching matchup the ball clubs had on June 17th at Rogers Center. Pelfrey against Stroman. Pelfrey won that game, as Pat mentioned, 6 innings, a run over those 6 innings, as Marcus Stroman was touched up for 3 home runs in that game.
He won't light up the radar gun, but he will light up the strike. He has always been a very good strike thrower.
Pelfrey originally drafted by the New York Mets. He signed as a #1 pick of the New York Mets. This is his 12th season in the big leagues. Popped up over our head.
As the fastball velocity goes down for Mike Pelfrey, the fastball usage goes down for him also. You're going to get fastballs and sliders and splitters and off-speed pitches, curves, a little bit of everything. Every now and then he's going to try and heat one up to you.
1-2 to Bautista. Breaking ball he lays off. It's 2-2. Las Diaz down at first. Omar Narvaez is the catcher, making his 51st start. He's handling Pelfrey here tonight. Full count. Bautista, as he's done all season long, makes a pitcher work. Russell Martin, he's on deck. He homered last night, one of the 3 home runs the Blue Jays hit. Ground ball. Gloved by Sanchez. What a nice play by Yomer Sanchez, the second baseman. They were playing Bautista to pull the ball. The second baseman started out right behind the bag at second. He made a nice play to start the ball game.
In the lineup tonight, because Yoan Moncada is out of the lineup with that bruised knee suffered last night. Sanchez came in, took over for Moncada, had a pretty good game himself. Sanchez with a couple of hits, including a home run. He starts tonight off with a nice play.
Nice defensive play. One out. Russell Martin. Martin's home run was his 11th. He goes after the first pitch. Saladino at third base makes a nice play. 2 away. That'll bring Josh Donaldson to the plate.
Josh stepped up against James Shields in the same situation in last night's game. 2 out, nobody on. Fell behind Shields, and as soon as James elevated a fastball right on the outside corner, Josh hammers it to right field for his 11th home run and knocked down Adam Engel for a while. He'll circle the bases with that 11th home run. He also had a base hit later in that game, so Josh had a multi-hit game, got that average to 243.
Donaldson is 2 for 10 going up against Pelfrey. Mentioned his last 5 games, 6 for 19. A couple of home runs, a couple of RBIs.
It's really interesting. They shift on him. They've got the 3 infielders on the left side. The outfield is really shifted over to left field, but they'll pitch him away. And Josh can go the other way.
The home run he hit last night in the first inning went to almost straight center field, but they're playing him to pull. There's a big gap in right center here in Chicago. There's lots of room out there for Donaldson.
And if they continue to pitch him away like that, he's liable to hit it to right center.
Another pitch away. There you see the big gap between Hanson, the right fielder, and Garcia, the center fielder. And you could drive a truck through that. There's a deep drive to center. Get up, ball. Get up, man. Gone. For a second straight ball game, Donaldson has homered in the first inning with 2 outs.
Well, let's hope the result is the same like last night, as the Blue Jays lost a heartbreaker, but another good start for the Jays. 2 outs. Donaldson homered last night. He does it again tonight, and that one was covered, as they say. Home run number 12 to center field. Pelfrey can give up his share of home runs, especially in this ballpark. This is a launching pad, and Josh launches one to straightaway center.
For Donaldson, as Pat mentioned, that's his 12th homer. And here is the all-star Justin Smoke.
Everything was outside, and they said, you know, let's see if I can slip a fastball by him. That's not happening. Stayed out over the plate. What a great feeling that is, to get a pitch like that and then connect like that. That ball is still laying out there in center field on that roof.
Donaldson starting to get everything together. We mentioned his last 5 games. That's his 3rd home run in his last 6 games now. 3-1 now to Justin Smoke. Interesting thing, you go back to the start of the season, Smokey didn't even start game 1 of this season. He was on the bench. And then when he did start, he was hitting 8th. He didn't hit in the 5th spot until the end of April. Popped up the catcher of Arias behind home plate, corrals it, and that ends the inning. But the Blue Jays, as they did in last night's game, take a 1-0 lead on Josh Donaldson's home run. It came with 2 outs. Deep center field. Donaldson connecting for his 12th homer of the season. Marcus Stroman has a lead before he ever takes the mound. And they haven't won many games in a row. It's been since June since they've won 3 in a row, but they have had 2 walk-off wins in succession. Tonight, let's take a look at their lineup. It's Garcia, Sanchez, and then Jose Abreu against Marcus Stroman. He only has 3 hits, but he's got a double and a home run, and he's driven in 3. And then right behind him, Matt Davidson is the DH tonight. He's 5 for 17 against the Jays this season. He's hit a pair of home runs, including a home run against Marcus Stroman back at Rogers Center in June.
And 2 walk-off hits the last 2 games for the White Sox. Marcus Stroman, 22nd start of the season, finished up July very strong. Although he only went 1-1, his .203 earned run average was his best such mark for any month this season. Was helped by 25 strikeouts in 31 innings. Hard contact rate dropped, and for the first time in his 4-year career, Marcus did not give up a home run all month. He's had his struggles in the past with the White Sox. He's 0-3 with an ERA just over 6 in 5 starts against this team. He enters this start. You saw that earned run average of .308. That's the 6th best mark in the American League.
9-5 record with that great ERA. Stroman is also 9th in innings pitched in the American League. Leury Garcia playing center field tonight. Goes after the first pitch, bounces it up the middle. Barney makes a nice play. Bang bang at first. Darwin Barney starting at second for the 28th time. Makes a good play to start this game. Take a look at the rest of the defense. In the outfield, it's Pierce, Pilar, and Bautista. That's the regular outfield. Double play combination is Goins and Barney, and Justin Smokes had a terrific year in the field as well.
Yes, he has. Game number 100 for Smokies have 1 error. Only Joe Mauer has fewer errors. Mauer doesn't have any, but he's played 190 fewer innings than Smoke. Darwin Barney better have a good infield when Marcus Stroman's on the mound. A lot of ground ball outs. Darwin Barney finishes that one off. Good play.
Marcus Stroman has thrown more ground balls than any pitcher in the American League. 243 ground balls when he's on the mound. This is Yomer Sanchez. He made a nice defensive play in the top of the inning.
Good quick pitch. Sanchez wasn't ready for it.
Pat, you mentioned Sanchez came into the game defensively after Moncada was hurt. Finished up with a single and a home run, scored 2 runs. Stroman's messing with him right now.
Yeah, he is.
There's no reason to call time on that, and the entire bench is up in the Blue Jays dugout. He had started his delivery. Dave Rackley, the home plate umpire, said, "I call timeout." That's wrong. That is absolutely 100% wrong. He was in the batter's box. He was ready to hit, and Stroman starts his delivery. There is no reason to call timeout there. Ground ball. Barney tested the other direction here in time. Darwin Barney showing his range off early in the first inning.
Well, you said it, and it's true. Marcus was messing with him. He likes to use that different timing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Here's the pitch we were talking about. He holds, calls timeout. I don't know why you're calling time when the guy's in the middle of his windup.
He had already started his windup, and that at bat is in play. David Rackley, the home plate umpire, is jawing at the dugout, but that pitch, he had started his windup. The batter was set in the box. There was no reason to grant timeout there.
Marcus will use that variation of his windup. Quick pitch, hesitation pitch, a little bit longer to get that pitch off.
Abreu drives it to right, and that's past Bautista all the way up against the fence. Abreu with his 4th hit against Stroman. He connects for a 2-out double, his 30th double of the season.
He was the one who came up with a pretty big hit in last night's game, tied the score with a 2-out hit against Osuna. Fell in front of Jose. Jose this time tries to get that ball. It was slicing away from him. No chance to get that one. From a right-handed batter, hits it off the end of the bat like that. It's going to slice towards the line. Jose can't run it down.
Abreu with his 3rd extra base hit against Stroman. Pair of doubles and a home run. Here's Matt Davidson. Davidson is the DH tonight. He has a home run against Stroman. He is 2 for 3 against Marcus. We mentioned we have the same pitching matchup tonight as we had on Saturday, June 17th at Rogers Center. It was the Father's Day weekend. Pelfrey against Stroman. Marcus pitched 6 strong innings, but gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits. Pelfrey picked up the win, his 3rd win of the season.
That's his last win of the season. Also, Marcus looks like he's got his command down, and his fastball's got some hop to it. We've already seen a couple of check swings and some late swings from these hitters here in the 1st inning.
1-2, 2 outs with Abreu at second. Now it's even at 2-2. Stroman gave up 3 home runs in that start against the White Sox. As Pat mentioned, he's not given up a home run in his last 6 starts. Slider he wouldn't chase. Over his last 6 starts, Stroman has a 2-1 record with a 163 earned run average. And the interesting thing, yeah, he gives up a lot of hits, but he's only given up 4 extra base hits, 4 doubles in his last 6 starts coming into this game tonight.
A lot of seeing eye hits, a lot of ground balls that find their way into the outfield.
That's going to be foul. Remember, Davidson has good power to the opposite field. His home run went to right last night.
There are the last 6 starts. Some more numbers that you were talking about. Opponents batting average with runners in scoring position. They're just 4 for 28. Tough to get the ball in the air when you've got that type of sinker. They're only hitting .234 against them. Cleveland, Boston, Houston, the Yankees, some of those players, some of those teams that he faced.
Yeah, he is really on a good roll right now. He's had some tough luck not getting decisions in those starts, just 2-1. The hitters have slugged just .236 against him over those 6 starts. That's given up some weak contact. Ground ball. Goins it short. Takes his time, and that'll end the inning. Good defense behind Stroman, and that's what you expect. A lot of ground balls and good D on the infield. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead.
Who the Blue Jays received as part of the package in that Francisco Liriano trade, said that he was caught a little bit off guard by the trade. Through an interpreter, he said that he had been keeping up with all the MLB trade talks, but never even considered that he would be part of them. Aoki said that he is looking forward to this new opportunity, especially after hearing from good friend Munenori Kawasaki. He said that the former Blue Jay texted him, and it simply read, quote, "Welcome to Toronto. Toronto is the best." Aoki added with a chuckle, "I think his heart is still in Toronto." Now, while he is disappointed he didn't get to finish the season with the Astros, a team he went to spring training with and thought he could be part of a championship run with, he is still optimistic the Blue Jays can finish strong. But to make room on the roster for Aoki, the Blue Jays have designated lefty Brett Oberholzer for assignment.
Aoki came in that trade along with Teoscar Hernandez from Houston. Aoki played 8 years in Japan, so he and Munenori Kawasaki are friends. And of course, Mooney, he could be an ambassador for Toronto anywhere around the world. He absolutely loved his time in Toronto. So Aoki is here with the ball club now. They have 5 outfielders, so it's going to be interesting to see how they mix them all in. Kendrys Morales, the DH, with a 2-1 count. Foul back out of play. Morales had a couple of hits last night. He had a base hit to left field, had a single and scored a run in the 6th inning. He scored one of those 3 runs on the pop 3-run triple off the bat of Darwin Barney. That's when the second baseman and the right fielder collided in shallow right field. That hit him. Tried to get out of the way. The ball kept tracking inside, and Morales will go to first.
Pelfrey threw more sliders in his last start. That looked like a slider right there that just kept coming in against Morales. Let's take a look at his pitch usage. There it is. Fastball, splitter, curveball, slider. Slider about 11% of the time. Last to start, he threw it about 15% of the time. Fewer splitters, more sliders in that last start. That was against the Cubs when he only pitched 5 innings and gave up 5 runs.
Here's Steve Pearce, the left fielder. He's getting his first look at Mike Pelfrey. Pearce for the season against the White Sox, 4 for 8 with a double and a home run. He's also walked 3 times. Two and 0. Ground ball. Anderson bobbles it and can't make a play. He was going to have a shot at getting the lead runner Morales at second. And that's what he had on his mind. He had no chance at Pearce at first. That should be an infield hit for Steve Pearce.
We'll see how they score that. Anderson has made 22 errors this year, and he'll learn there are certain balls that you can't turn double plays on. So just catch it, throw it, and make sure you get 1 out, at least 1 out. He was going to have a chance, like you said, to get that runner at second base. Went just a little bit too quick.
It is an infield hit for Pearce, the Blue Jays' second hit of the ball game. Ryan Goins, the shortstop. Goins shows bunt and pulls the bat back, takes the ball.
That was really interesting. The White Sox are playing for the bunt, but they didn't come charging hard when Ryan squared around. Tyler Saladino now the third baseman. He's going to give the signs to the pitcher and the infielders on what bunt defense they're going to use. Blue Jays might even cross them up here and let them swing away.
Yeah, that first sign of Goins showing bunt on the first pitch might get him a fastball here. Blue Jays has 17 sacrifices this season.
They are really cheating for the bunt.
Goins not bunting, fouls it back. He did get his fastball.
Yeah, and by cheating I mean the first baseman was in, and the second baseman Sanchez was cheating over towards first base, anticipating Goins bunting, and John Gibbons crossed him up, let him swing away, just didn't get a very good pitch to hit.
The White Sox have the most sacrifice bunts in the American League. They have 25. Then Cleveland surprisingly has 19. Those are the only 2 clubs that have more than the Blue Jays. Ball on the strike. It's 1-0 Blue Jays. Two and 1 now. Pelfrey grew up in Wichita. Went to Wichita State University. His That's where Joe Carter went to school, played ball.
He was a shocker.
Fly ball left field. Nick Delmonico in his first big league game makes the catch. And he has recorded an out. He is now a big leaguer. He will lead things off. He's a baseball guy. His dad was the longtime coach at University of Tennessee, Coach J.P. Arancibia. And he says, yeah, I'm a big leaguer now.
That's a great shot, isn't it?
That's awesome. Delmonico in his first big league game just called up because Willie Garcia, the right fielder, was placed on the 7-day concussion disabled list. Kevin Pillar takes a ball.
Well, they got to cash in against Pelfrey. He has not been able to command the strike zone. Defense let him down on that infield hit. Could have recorded an out. First two batters reached. They got to get to him here early.
1-1 now to Kevin Pillar.
Every opportunity you have a chance to score, I think you have to. Blue Jays saw that last night.
Blue Jays had a 6-0 lead that evaporated late in the game, and they lost their 9th walk-off loss of the season. Outside. Pelfrey just trying to encourage these guys to chase, and the Blue Jays so far have done a decent job of making him throw it over.
Yeah, the at-bats are a little quieter here early on in this ball game, meaning they're not getting out there and over swinging.
Man, that one hurt. Pillar found that right into his legs. Whether it hit him on the foot or the leg, not sure, but Pelfrey throws that sinking fastball.
He's got that pad on him also. That didn't sound like it hit him on that pad. Hit him right on the ankle.
Tell you what, folks, that hurts. And you can see Pillar is trying to walk it off. They got a little bit more time to get the feeling back inside there. That hurts. That sinking fastball, you get the top of it, beat it right down on top of your foot.
It makes you not want to swing the bat again on any pitch thrown inside, because you're afraid you're going to do it again.
Two balls and two strikes. Morales at second, Pierce at first. Ground ball to third. Saladino goes to second for one. Sanchez back to first. Double play. Saladino made a nice play. Got an in-between hop at third. Once he got it to Sanchez, it was academic, and Pelfrey gets the double play to get out of the inning.
enter for a chance to win the TD Comfort Zone contest. On any Tuesday, post a video or photo of you showing your Blue Jays spirit along with hashtag TD Tuesday and @Blue Jays to Twitter or Instagram. For details and rules, visit bluejays.com/TD contest. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. We are in Chicago. You can see the rainbow above the scoreboard out there, and it was a very, very intense thunderstorm for a while, but the sun is out and the rainbows are as well. This is Nick Delmonico getting his first big league at bat. He was just called up from AAA. Those are his numbers in 99 games with the Charlotte Knights. 12 homers, 45 ribbies. We mentioned he's the son of Rod Delmonico, who was the head coach at the University of Tennessee for 18 seasons. Rod coached there until 2007. Nick's brother, Tony, played for the Dodgers in the minor league system for several years. He actually went to College World Series with Florida State. So this got to be a special moment for the entire Delmonico family.
He looks like a baseball player, doesn't he? The way he carries himself, grew up around the game.
Slider, he strikes out. That's that Stroman slider. That leads to the first strikeout for Marcus tonight.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Fans still coming to the ballpark as we are in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Blue Jays on Josh Donaldson's second home run of the series. Tyler Saladino was the DH in last night's game. Tonight he's the third baseman. The White Sox have traded 7 regulars since the 13th of July, so they've got a lot of guys getting extended opportunities to prove their worth. A 2-month audition, if you will.
So many young players, they don't have to put them on the 40-man roster. With the addition to Nicky Delmonico on the 40-man roster, they only have 36 players protected right now.
It's going to be out of play.
But there will come a day when you've got all these players coming up and they've got to be protected or exposed. You're going to have to do something with them.
First thing you have to do is find out if they can play. Then you can make decisions. Yoán Moncada is on the bench. He's not been disabled. The diagnosis was a bruised knee. He and Willie Garcia, the right fielder, collided chasing a pop-up, but it's good news for both. Moncada has a bruised knee and nothing more. That's great news.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because this is our first look at him. He was rated the #1 prospect in all of baseball before the season started. What did he get? 2 at-bats, a couple of plays in the field, got injured in that 6th inning, and that was it. We won't see him for the rest of the season, I'm sure.
He popped out to the catcher and struck out in his 2 plate appearances, but he is a good-looking player. Full count to Saladino. Drummond walks him. A 1-out walk here in the second. Talk about the injury to Moncada. Take a look at this pop-up off the bat of Darwin Barney.
It's going to score 3 runs for the Blue Jays. Moncada's a big guy, 6'3", about 210, and that right knee went right into the side of Willie Garcia, knocked him unconscious for a little bit. The ball popped out of his glove. He wasn't able to make the play. He was saying today that he was unconscious for a little bit, and the next thing he remembers when the doctor came out there to talk to him. I'm telling you, he hit, his eyes rolled back into his head, and it was a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, it was a very, very scary collision, and fortunately, at least for the time being, seems like neither one of them suffered a significant injury. This is the catcher, Omar Narvaez. He hits it on the ground. Goins it short. Second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Ryan Goins and Darwin Barney have been putting on a show early in this game. They both made a couple of fine defensive plays, and there they team up for the double play. That's the 24th double play turned with Marcus Stroman on the mound. That's the most in baseball.
Stage is set for Canada's tennis showcase. Milos Raonic aims to outshine legends like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic in Montreal, while Jeannie Bouchard battles a field featuring Venus Williams, Sharapova, and Kerber in Toronto. It's the Rogers Cup. All the action begins August 7th right here on Sportsnet.
What a great event in two great cities, and the men are in Montreal, the ladies are in Toronto University. That's a great tennis facility there. So if you have time, get up there and watch them in person. It's a terrific event, and they do a great job with the draw. You see a lot of the world's best at that tennis match. This is Darwin Barney, the number 9 hitter. Barney has taken over at second with the loss of Troy Tulowitzki at short, so Goins will play most of the time at short. Barney will play second.
Robert F. Snyder is also in the picture for the Blue Jays. Had a hit in his first start as a Jay, big double in that comeback win.
F. Snyder can play all the infield positions, and he's always been a pretty good offensive player throughout his minor league career. 3-1 now to Darwin Barney. Barney's big season with the Cubs across town was 2012. He won a Gold Glove playing second base.
He should get a good pitch to hit 3-1, and he did, and he was a little bit tardy. Pelfrey can't afford to walk him. He's got to challenge him again with a fastball. So if you're Darwin, turn it up a notch, get it started. See if you can be standing out at second base.
There's a ball inside the line. That's a fair ball. He is indeed headed for second. To throw from Hansen, not nearly in time. And how about a leadoff double for Darwin Barney, double number 8 for the season.
You know, if you're hitting ninth and this is your first at bat and you're in a fastball count, look for one. What you want to do is do exactly what Darwin did there. Try and get an extra base hit. Pelfrey, fastball. Two-seamer comes back over the middle of the plate, and Darwin shoots it down the right field line.
Well, that's a great swing.
Yeah, hit it where it's pitched. That ball was away. He had the inside-out swing. Good start again for the Blue Jays.
That extends his hit streak to 6 straight. Back to the top of the order, Jose Bautista. It's a slow breaking ball for strike 1. Bautista was thrown out by a good play from the second baseman, Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez was on the shortstop side of second when he made the play. Fly ball to center. Garcia back. Tagging at second is Barney, and he will move to third base on the deep fly ball from Bautista. Well, Bautista moves Barney from second to third with the fly ball.
Jose did an excellent job, Buck, of keeping his hands inside that baseball, trying to keep it in the middle of the diamond or the other way. You can see the hands went first and the barrel came back after a leadoff double. Jose trying to drive him in at number one, but if you can't, you got to get him over to third base.
Productive out. The White Sox are playing the infield in. They're trailing 1-0. Russell Martin, boy, he's had a rough stretch on the road this season. He comes into this game batting .159 on the road. Blue Jays trying to add to their 1-0 lead.
Maybe that hit will start to bust him out of that last night. Big home run for Russell.
Breaking ball. Ball and a strike. Two and one now. Martin had a good finish to the homestand. He started to put things together. Russell had a 2-hit game on Sunday. He was 2 for 4 with a walk, scored 2 and drove in a run.
And very patient. Slow curveball right there from Pelfrey. His home run last night had that distinctive home run sound to it. That's always a good sign when you're starting to hit line drives that far.
Russell had 2 hits on Friday night at home against the Angels. He had 5 hits in that Angels series. 2-2 pitch to Martin, way outside. Another slow breaking ball. Barney with the leadoff double is at third now with 1 out. Infield still playing it in.
And the runner's probably going to make the ball go through. You got some RBI men coming up after Martin. So Barney's not getting too far off of third base.
He was coming on contact. That foul ball, he broke from third. So he is going on contact.
All inside. It's bounced high by Martin, and you can see there that he was coming.
So now the infield has the benefit of knowing that. Also got a pitch up and he drives it down the line, but foul. Yeah, it was interesting. After Barney broke for home on that foul grounder past third, the infield took a couple more steps in. Tim Anderson at shortstop. He'll come in right at the edge of the grass just before the pitch is delivered.
Well, hopefully it's not an atom ball right at somebody. What you want, if you're going to hit it on the ground, get it into the outfield or make that infield move.
Martin walks. Ball downstairs. First and third, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Boy, Eduardo Nunez, he has been a real addition to this ball club. Dustin Pedroia is probably headed to the disabled list. In fact, he was today. He's got that bad knee. So now they have Nunez playing at shortstop. Rafael Devers, the third baseman, he's just hitting and hitting and hitting again. He's got a hit already tonight.
Played second base last night, Nunez.
Here's Josh Donaldson. He hits it to deep center field. That's going to score Barney. He's tagging at third. Martin will stay put at first, and Donaldson has driven in a pair with a homer and a sac fly. So Donaldson is 1 for 1 with a sac fly and 2 ribbies, and that'll bring Justin Smoke to the plate. What a season he has put together. You look at the first base home runs by a first baseman in franchise history. Delgado has the most as a first baseman. His biggest year was 41 home runs. Fred McGriff hit 36 home runs as a first baseman in '89, and Smokey has 30 this season.
Last season, there were 32 players who hit 30 home runs. Smokey is the 4th this year to hit 30 home runs in baseball. So that list is going to be growing by the day. There's a lot of players in the upper 20s already.
Slow breaking ball. Pelfrey has used that very effectively in this inning. Taking a lot off that curveball. There are 46 players with 20 or more home runs in the majors right now. Smoke gets tied up. That breaking ball down and in. Now Smoke, he's had a career season, and he is on the leaderboard with the major league home run leaders. Aaron Judge of the Yankees with 34. Giancarlo Stanton of the Marlins has 33, and then Smoke and Moustakas tied with 30.
There they are, the 4 players with 30 home runs this year. Says every day I'm trying to stay with my plan. And his plan has been working.
There goes Martin. This ball is drilled, but it's going to be foul deep down the right side. There are currently 12 players with 25 or more home runs. So, you know, they could reach 30 by the end of the month.
Yeah, the ball's flying out. Went back and looked. I think I saw 98 players hit at least 20 home runs last season. And they're on their way to do the same thing this year.
Inside. 2-2 to Smoke.
Home runs are such a big part of the game today. Big, strong, hard throwers. So you got players that are up there swinging hard. The ball is carrying.
There goes Martin. There's a base hit in the alley. Martin turning toward third, and they're going to stop him at third as Smoke. It's a long single into the outfield. Outfielders did a pretty good job of cutting that ball and getting it back in. Martin saw that it was going to split the outfielders, and he was hustling toward third, but Luis Rivera threw up the stop sign.
If the ball gets by the outfielders, Smoke was going to have another RBI. Russell was going to have a run score. Slow curveball, and he stayed on that one. Says I look for breaking balls. I got to stick with my plan. I found something. It works. And I told myself to come to the park every day and stay with it. Stayed with that one. That's a beautiful swing for his first hit.
Hernan Cooper, the pitching coach, out to talk to Pelfrey in this situation. A run in already this inning. Donaldson with a sacrifice fly. So Cooper talking to Pelfrey, and we have seen this throughout these 2 games. The entire infield converges whenever there's a meeting on the mound. And that's what you get with young players. Everybody wants to get involved to see what's happening and what the thought process is like.
I think it's imperative that you bring young kids in and they listen to what the coach is saying to the pitcher, what the catcher has to say to the pitcher, so they can learn the game of baseball. Remember back in the day, they wouldn't allow you to do that in the American League?
For a while, there was a rule in the American League that only 2 guys could go to the mound at a time, which made no sense at all. Kendrys Morales got a hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. Fly ball to center. This should end the inning. It does, as Garcia makes the catch, but the Blue Jays get another run in the third. Josh Donaldson with a sacrifice fly chases home Darwin Barney. It's 2-0 as Josh Donaldson has homered and hit a sacrifice fly to give the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead. Marcus Stroman on mound has given up just the double to Jose Abreu. That came in the first inning with 2 outs. He got a double play to end the bottom of the second, and now it'll be Tim Anderson, the number 8 hitter for Chicago, leading things off. Anderson last night got the first hit of the ball game off Marco Estrada. That came with 1 out in the 5th. Goins comes quickly and throws Anderson out, 1 away.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you love.
Beautiful evening here in Chicago, and the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. Last night they had a 6-0 lead and would eventually lose 7-6 in the 9th. So you got to keep adding on runs. Marcus Stroman has never beaten the Chicago White Sox. 0-3 for his career against Chicago.
With an elevated ERA, Marco Estrada looked pretty good yesterday.
Yes, he did. Marco had a very good outing. 7 strong innings for Marco. 1 run on 4 hits. He walked a batter and struck out 5.
Said the biggest thing that he wanted to do was keep the ball down, and he did that. He felt like he could control his fastball. Said I could control and command my changeup too. Told me something interesting today. He said he wanted to make his changeup look like his fastball, and he did. Good numbers: 7 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Been a rough stretch for Marco. Good to see him smiling again. He was beating himself up for not helping out his team, and he said, I'm just not pitching well. But that was a good sign last night. It might be a good couple of months for Marco.
Wish they could have got him on the win in last night's game.
Another thing he told me today was, you know what, he said, I kept hearing about the trade possibilities, and he said, I just didn't want to leave Toronto. He said it just wears on. You try to be professional about it, and you try not to worry about it, but it's there. I mean, that's all you hear, you read, you hear people talking about it, and it just gets in your head.
Even if you play 5, 6, 10 years in the major leagues, it's still there, and it's not a fun time. Wondering about your family, wondering if you're going to have to pack your suitcase.
The problem with that is, for the families, it's always the wife and the kids that do all the packing, because the players have to take a hike. So Marco is very happy he's still in Toronto, and there's been some speculation and some talk that could be a possible extension down the road. There's a little fly ball. This is trouble, and that's a fair ball. Pierce gets it, fires to second, and Hansen is in there safely with a bloop double.
Well,
just hit it in the right spot.
One thing Chicago has, the White Sox have some pretty decent team speed. Adam Engel, who is not starting tonight, showed some speed in the outfield. Moncada's got some speed. He's on the bench. Hansen with a lot of speed, not really sure where that ball was. It goes up into the twilight, but look at those strides coming around first base.
Speed is such an asset. That's about 2 feet fair down the left field line. By the time Pierce gets it to second, it's too late for Hansen, his 4th double of the season. Runner in scoring position back to the top of the order. Garcia goes after the first pitch. Barney throws him out. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, I'd be happy to see that. And after Jackie Bradley Jr. made those couple of catches out on that wall, it's hard to fathom anybody making a better one. But I'll take your word for it, Jamie.
From Jamie's description, it sounded like the
very similar
Jackie Bradley ball off of the bat of Aaron Judge when he jumped into the bullpen area, out into that triangle out in center field of Fenway.
Well, that bullpen is the Red Sox bullpen. It juts way out to the 420 feet. It's a long way from home plate. 2 outs now for Yolmer Sanchez. Goes on the ground. Goins is there. No problem. A 1-out double, and the White Sox strand a base runner. We'll head to the 4th inning. Marcus Stroman and the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead here in Chicago.
Listen up, My Blue Jays members. Log in to My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ4583 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Don't forget, your code must be entered by 4 a.m. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. We are here in Chicago as we head to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Pierce, Goins, and Pilar for the Blue Jays. The Jays have a 2-0 lead. Steve Pierce had an infield single. Hit the ball to short, and Anderson couldn't make a play. So that put runners at first and second with nobody out, but the Blue Jays couldn't capitalize.
They've had their opportunities. They've already left 3 runners on base. 2 more last inning.
They had some chances indeed. Pelfrey's pitched out of a couple of tough situations. 0-2 to Steve Pearce. Another slow breaking ball for a strikeout. Mike Pelfrey beat the Blue Jays back in June at Rogers Center, but it hasn't been a pretty picture lately. Last 6 starts, ERA over 6, hitting .279 against Pelfrey, and his whip is nearly 2. But the team hasn't scored many runs in support, under 3, and his team record 1-5 over his last 6 starts.
That's a bad combination, isn't it? High ERA and your team doesn't get you any runs. He had to pitch at Colorado through a third of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. That was it. His last start was against the Cubs in that crosstown rival. Gave up 6 hits and 5 runs.
Pelfrey knocks it down, stays with it, took his time, and makes an easy play of it. So Goins is retired. 2 quick outs here in the 4th. That outing in Colorado was in relief, and he just didn't have much luck. He's actually made a couple of different relief appearances this season. He had a relief appearance on the 14th of June here against the Orioles, and that outing in Colorado was on the 9th of July, right before the All-Star break. Kevin Pillar bounces it through into center field for a 2-out single.
They were really playing Pillar to pull. Pelfrey throws his share of ground balls, lots of them. Anderson, the center shortstop, was playing him to pull, so he can't get to that ball up the middle. Pillar's got a base hit.
Kevin Pillar with 2 outs should be on the move here. Pelfrey has allowed 19 stolen bases this season. That's the most American League. And the catcher, Narvaez, has caught just 7 of 37 base runners, so the combination is in Pillar's favor.
And if he gets one of those slow breaking balls or that split finger fastball, that's a good combination too for Pillar to pick up that stolen base.
Barney had a double his last time up. Was after the first pitch. Pillar, no signs of running at first.
He flinched like he was bluffing, possibly throw off Pelfrey just a little bit. But I'm with you. You take your chance. If he gets thrown out, Barney leads off next inning. I think you have to stay aggressive and still try to keep adding on runs.
There goes Pillar. He got a good jump. The throw from the catcher. Not in time. Pillar steals the base, his 13th of the season. He's been caught 4 times, but he picks up a stolen base with 2 outs.
White Sox are checking. That's Rick Renteria taking a look and asking if they should look at this one. Sanchez comes in front of the bag to get that throw, and then when he reaches back, he can't get the tag down.
They will not ask for the review. Pillar with the stolen base, as we mentioned, is 13th. He's in scoring position now for Darwin Barney. This fly ball to right. Hansen deep into right field corner, but makes the catch just shy of the warning track. So that ends the inning. Blue Jays get a 2-out single and leave a base runner. to a good start here in Chicago, and he has really done a great job in this month of July that's just been completed. April and June, April through June, he had a good ERA at 3.41, but he's turned it up a notch in July.
Lowest of any month this season. Although he was just 1-1 in the month of July, his peripherals, his numbers, everything else was really good. The ERA, we said, was down. His opponent's average and slugging percentage were down in the month of July. He had the lowest fly ball percentage in the month of July. Just 11% of the balls were up in the air. And that happens when he's got that sinker down and it's moving and it's at the lower parts of the strike zone. Did not give up a home run in the month of July.
Jose Abreu had a double in the first inning, a 2-out double. Here he hits this ball hard, but Pierce is there. He makes the catch. Abreu has swung the bat well against Storman. So that'll bring Matt Davidson to the plate. 11 doubles, a triple, and 22 home runs. And if it wasn't for Aaron Judge in New York, he would be in the conversation for the American League Rookie of the Year. But this is the rookie home run leaders.
I think it's a slam dunk in each league. Bellinger and Judge look like the runaway winners, but finishing second, Davidson. He was a supplemental pick in 2009 out of high school by Arizona, 35th player overall chosen. And as a young player, he had just turned 18 years old a couple of months before he was drafted, so it's going to take some time. But kudos to the Chicago White Sox. Their coaching staff and their scouting staff recognize that he has a chance to be a big leaguer. They traded for him 4 years later, and here he is in the big leagues.
He was traded for Addison Reed, and Reed just went from the Mets to the
Boston.
Red Sox. And Davidson, he made his major league debut June 30th last year. He struck out in his first at bat, singled in his second at bat. When he was rounding first, he felt a pop in his foot. He would come out of the game and find out that he had broken his foot, had surgery the next day, and went home the third day. Thank you very much for coming. His first day in the big leagues, he gets a base hit, drives in a run, and breaks his foot.
That's not a good day. He also led the International League in 2015 with home runs with 23. So he's got some power, and the Blue Jays saw that yesterday. He homered to right field for the 4th time. 4 of his 22 home runs have been to right field.
A ball and 2 strikes, and that slider is low. No swing according to Laz Diaz down at first. Davidson went to Yucaipa High School in California. He was teammates with Taijuan Walker. Pretty good high school team to have those two guys on your high school team. And Davidson was actually thinking about going to USC. But he got a nice offer and signed, and that one hit him. Stroman's reacting. And now the umpire is asking whether Laz Diaz said he swung, and Diaz said no swing. So Davidson will go to first. Now John Gibbons has come out of the dugout. He's asking Laz Diaz, you had to see that swing. It looked like Diaz went after it, but I think he checked his swing, and when he did, he got hit by the pitch.
If it's determined that Davidson swung, he would be out. That's not a swing. So it will be a hit by a pitch, and he will go down to first base.
So Davidson takes first after being hit by the pitch with 1 out. Stroman has allowed just 2 hits, pair of doubles, 1 to Abreu in the first, and a bloop double to Hansen down the left field line. That was in the 3rd inning. This is Nick Delmonico, who got his first plate appearance back in the 2nd, and he struck out on a slider. Major league debut.
He was an International League All-Star this year. Played some third base, played some left field, played some right field. He's listed at 6'3", 230. And watching him run down the first base line, he looks like he can run.
He was a first baseman, third baseman throughout much of his minor league career, and they put him in the outfield last year at Charlotte. He played 17 games in right field last year. This season, he's played 13 games in left field, and that's where he's playing tonight. So Stroman, after hitting Davison, falls behind Delmonico 3-0. Tyler Saladino walked his first time up. He is waiting on deck. There's a strike, now 3-1. Ground ball snared by Smoke. Second for one. No throw back to first. Justin Smoke is a Gold Glove first baseman in my mind. What a play he made right there. Great extension, great reaction. Takes a hit away from Nick Delmonico.
Bounces off the bag and the ball is to his glove side. He stays down. He's always been known as a great fielder. Now with the bat, he has become a complete player. One error this whole season. He made that back in April. He's made some plays like that, saving base hits, saving runs for his pitching staff. That time he did the right thing, snaring that one and getting the lead runner.
2 outs now for Saladino. There's a base hit to right. He jumped on the first pitch. Delmonico stops at second.
Don't you dare. No, no. I'm not buying. No.
How about that picture? That's a young Pat Tabler for sure.
And they're saying in the truck that we look the same. I'm thinking more, he looks more like Charlie Chan from all those old movies. Remember the old movies?
2 away now. This is the catcher. Narvaez. He goes after the first pitch, and that's trouble. Delmonico's around third. He's going to score. Saladino's getting the wave. He comes around third. He's going to score. And just like that, with 2 outs, the White Sox have put 2 up on the board, and they have tied it. Omar Narvaez, his 10th and 11th RBIs of the season, comes on his 5th double.
I think the White Sox might have picked something out. Smoke made the great play on Delmonico to take the hit away from him. Then a first pitch base hit by Saladino. Now Narvaez hits a rope down into the corner that's going to score both runs. By the time Jose runs it down, we're all tied.
Tim Anderson goes after the first pitch. Narvaez, with his 5th double, has tied it here with 2 outs in the 4th. The White Sox didn't get the memo. They had 6 wins in July, their worst month in their franchise history, but they've won 2 in a row, both walk-off wins.
Rick Renteria was talking about that in the paper. He was saying, you know, we got to come, we got to battle. We're a young team. We got to do things the right way. We got to make every game count.
You know, in many regards, this is a great opportunity for Rick Renteria and the White Sox. He's got about 25 nice pieces of clay, and he can mold them into the type of player they want to represent the White Sox. This is how we're going to practice. This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to approach everything. There's that slider for the strikeout. There's the throw to first to complete the strikeout. But Chicago has tied it up. They had a couple of hits and a big double by the catcher, Narvaez, and it's 2-2 as we head to the 5th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio.
The more you fly, the more you earn with WestJet Rewards. Redeem WestJet dollars anytime, anywhere with no blackouts. Now that's cool. Join today at WestJet.com/rewards. And after 40 seasons, how would you rank the Blue Jays' 40 greatest players? Go to sportsnet.ca to select your top 40 list.
Thank you very much, Hazel. As we have a tie game once again, and the White Sox, they just don't go away.
We got to give those Blue Jay fans something to cheer about. He looked upset after that last half inning.
Top of the order for the Jays: Bautista, Martin, and Donaldson. Jose, as Greg Zahn mentioned, had a good at bat in the third inning as he hit a deep fly ball to center on a tough pitch. Boy, he floats that breaking ball in there just 71 miles an hour. That'll disrupt your timing.
Yeah, for a fastball hitting team, that can really mess you up. He's also got a splitter where he splits his index finger and his middle finger. He uses it as a changeup. He's got some nice dip to it tonight.
See, he's grabbing that grip, setting it in his glove as he looks for the sign. It's a high fly ball. That ball's carrying. Hansen at the fence, jumps and makes the catch. They may have saved a home run right there for Pelfrey. He did a good job of getting back up against the wall. Then he went straight up and takes a home run away from Bautista.
Yeah, that ball's gone. If he doesn't use his speed to get back to the wall, time his jump perfectly. Watch this where he catches it up over that yellow line. That's out of here. But he brings it back. Out number one.
Hansen has a double tonight, and now he makes a great catch, taking a home run away from Bautista. Russell Martin takes the first pitch strike. One and one. Pelfrey traditionally has been a pretty slow worker. Tonight he's working pretty quickly, not taking much time in between pitches on the mound. There's a ground ball, good sinking fastball. Anderson has it to Abreu, 2 away. So Josh Donaldson has homered in both of these games so far, both coming in the first inning.
Everything was away until this pitch. They're going to try and throw one inside. They don't get it inside. That is the 11th home run that he has given up here in Chicago. Mike Pelfrey. Josh Donaldson got the Blue Jays started tonight with that home run. He's up to 12 on the season. He also had a sacrifice fly, good piece of hitting where he just missed first pitch breaking ball from Pelfrey.
First pitch is down and away for ball one. You can see Donaldson's really starting to get his timing together because he's taking pitches and he's on them. And he just makes a decision that they're not ones he wants to swing at.
I think for Josh, all you have to recognize is where are his hands when he's ready to swing the bat. If they're back and in that hitting position, you know he's going to start taking off hitting. He's had some pretty good numbers here in Chicago.
16 RBIs in 17 games.
But he understands that I've got a lot of moving parts to my swing. And timing and my legs are so important. And I think for him too, at the hands, he drops them and then he brings them back up, and he's in a great hitting position when he's hot.
Narvaez got that meat hand exposed. He took one off the thumb. And it's a fortunate break. He gives the thumbs up to the bench saying I'm okay, but he exposed that meat hand. Two and two to Donaldson. Up and away. You like where his hands are?
I didn't like how he took those last two pitches. They were down. They weren't up in that hitting position like we normally see. A little inconsistency there.
Breaking ball. He takes ball 4. Belfry didn't want to get burned again. He has given up a home run and a sac fly to Donaldson. So this time he walks him with 2 outs, but that brings smoke to the plate.
Yeah, that might not be a good idea. Pitch around Donaldson to get the smoke. Smokey's got that average back up over 300 after that last base hit.
Blue Jays have 2 runs on 5 hits. The White Sox have 2 runs on 4 hits. Neither team has committed an error. Smoke has popped out and singled. Huge numbers over his last 17 games. 7 homers, 15 RBIs during that stretch. You know, when he went to the All-Star game for the first time, and he had a good game. He had 2 hits in his 2 plate appearances. But I think just the fact that he's been validated now. You know, he was with peers. He's with the best players in the game, and he's one of them.
It's a confidence boost. It validates that, hey, I'm a good player, and I can do it. He had a super first half. We've talked about that. He hit a home run 1 every 13 at bats in the first half. Well, in the second half, in the month of July, 1 every 9 at bats. So he's improved on that. RBIs 1 every 5 at bats. Pre All-Star game, post All-Star game, 1 out RBI every 4 at bats.
High fly ball deep to right. Get up, ball. Get up. This ball is out of here. He's hit another home run, number 31 for Smoke.
I asked him today, I said, Justin, do you set goals for yourself like 30 home runs in a season? He said, sure. I think every ball player has to set goals, 20 home runs, 30 home runs, whatever it is. He said the most important thing is I have got to stay with my plan. And I think that's where I've really drawn some consistencies this year, is staying with my plan, whatever that is. He wasn't going to tell me what that is, but he says I stay with it. I come to the ballpark every day thinking about that, visualizing, and I'll tell you what, he's getting better and better.
Off speed pitch is lifted in the air to right. Morales flies out. That ended the inning. But some 2-out thunder for the Blue Jays as Donaldson walks with 2 outs. Sets the table for this swing. High and deep to right. Smoke wasn't really sure he got enough, but in the end, it's home run number 31. He's given the Blue Jays the lead. Justin Smoke had ever hit prior to this season was 20, and that last home run is his 31st of the season.
Look how he leverages the ball, gets underneath it and lifts it out of the ballpark. It was a high drive to right field, drops right into that front row. Lift it up out of here. He says he's got a little bit more lift from the left side. Tell you what, says he's feeling like he was when he was an amateur player, and that he's the best player on the field, that he's not worrying about, trying to hit a home runs or trying to do this. He says he feels very confident right now, and it's showing.
Alan Hansen, he blooped a double off of Stroman. But Smoke, you look at the percentage of home runs for the Blue Jays over the years. This year, the second highest percentage of runs coming on the home run. Smoke has an easy play of it. Hansen's retired, one away.
Think about that when you sign and you get into pro ball. It's a different level. And the things you did when you were an amateur, the things that you could get away with as an amateur hitter against, amateur pitching, you can't do that. So you start, okay, well, I got to do this to hit home runs, or I got to do that to hit, well, he's found something, that works for him, and he says, I'm just staying with it.
But he told you it was like when he was a kid hitter before he became a pro. He went back to doing things that attracted the Texas Rangers to draft him. There's a similar story going on in Tampa Bay with Corey Dickerson. When he signed with Colorado, they said, you can't hit like that in pro ball. And now he's had enough experience. He said, I got to go back to doing what's good for me.
Being me.
He's had an all-star season too.
Yeah, big season. A couple of home runs yesterday. And you're right. You don't have to change. We're not talking about change, but just finding something that works to hit professional pitching and then big league pitching. And I'll tell you what, Smokey's found it.
And now he's just got to keep it. He might be the best bargain in baseball. There's that wicked slider to Garcia. 2-2 now. Stroman staked to a 2-run lead once again. It's 4-2 Jays as the White Sox bat in the 5th. There's a strikeout. 3 strikeouts for Stroman so far. 2 away.
Happy 150th to our home and native land. Honda, proudly driving Canadians since 1973.
We're on the south side of Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field. Second game of the 3-game set. The Blue Jays will wrap it up with a day game tomorrow. A couple of left-handers are scheduled to start as Derek Holland for the White Sox. Jay Happ, a native of Illinois, will pitch in front of family and friends here tomorrow afternoon. Yomer Sanchez. Fly ball to left. Carrying all the way to the warning track, but Pierce is there to make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. A shutdown inning after Smoke's 2-run home run. We'll go to the 6th. The Blue Jays up by 2.
Sunday, August 13th, join us for Super Jays Day. We're calling all of our super fans down to the ballpark to enjoy some activities and fun photo opportunities in the WestJet Flight Deck. The first 20,000 in attendance will receive a pair of Blue Jays high socks. Then sit back and watch the Jays host the Pittsburgh Pirates at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Another great giveaway. It's August 13th. Make sure you put that in your books and come on out to Rogers Center. Blue Jays will finish up this series on Wednesday afternoon and go down to Houston, have an off day while Houston is finishing up their series against Tampa Bay. Steve Pearce jumped on that first pitch and pulled it foul. The Blue Jays will play the Astros over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cesar Valdez will open up on the mound against Brad Peacock. On Saturday, it'll be Marco Estrada against Charlie Morton, and on Sunday, Stroman will come back and pitch against Mike Fiers. That's cued off the end of the bat, a little dribbler back to the mound, and Pearce is retired. So the Blue Jays are going to use 4 starters. They have the benefit of a couple of off days. They have Thursday off and Monday off. So they don't have to make a decision about that 5th starter for a while.
Yeah, this week they said that they're going to get Estrada and Stroman the extra starts, skip that 5th spot, but next time through, as they cycle through, they might give them the extra day. They've made 22 starts, each one of them, Marcus Stroman and Marco Estrada.
The Blue Jays won't have another off day after the 7th until the 21st, so they'll play 14 straight days. Then they'll need that extra starter. When they come back from Houston, the Yankees are in town starting on the 8th. That's a Tuesday. 3 games for the Yankees, and then Pittsburgh. The Pirates come into town for a Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon series, and then Tampa Bay. 4 big games with the Rays before the Blue Jays come right back to Chicago to play the Cubs. Goins behind 0-2. Outside.
Speaking of the Cubs, John Lester hit a home run tonight. His first ever. Just up the street.
Yeah, he's got a bad swing. Max Scherzer hit a home run tonight too. His first.
And then left the game.
Yeah, he pulled his neck, hurt his neck watching the home run. Evidently, they said he had a bad neck going into that game, but he left the game after 2 innings. The Marlins lead the Nats 7-6, bottom of the 7th. High fastball, and Goins strikes out. Just the 2nd strikeout for Pelfrey tonight. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Nunez, it had been rumored that the Red Sox were interested in him to play 3rd base. And Pat and I both thought that he would be a good fit given his versatility, the athleticism. He can steal a base, and given the fact that the Red Sox aren't a home run hitting team this year, I thought it was a good fit, and it's worked out pretty good.
Second base tonight, hitting 3rd, 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Not bad. That's doing your homework and finding the guy that best fits in your clubhouse and in your lineup. Rafael Devers is at it again, 1 for 3. Those two are hitting over 400 since they've come up to the Red Sox.
Going into this game tonight, Nunez had played 4 games. He was 8 for 17 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs, and he's driven in 4 tonight. Outside to Pilar, takes ball 4. A 2-out walk to Kevin Pilar.
You know what that means.
He's going to be on his horse. He stole a base the last time he reached first in the 4th inning. That was also with 2 outs. The stolen base for Pilar, number 13 on the season. Darwin Barney at the plate, and now they're going to have another conference.
Just to buy some time to get the bullpen up. I am sure Mike Pelfrey trying to pitch 6 innings for the first time since June 17th. That was against the Blue Jays back at Rogers Center.
Gregory Infante will be the first up for the White Sox. He is just starting to throw. So Barney will face Pelfrey. Barney had a clutch double in the 3rd inning, a leadoff double on a 3-2 pitch. He rifled it down into the right field corner, came around to score the 2nd Blue Jays run. He scored on Josh Donaldson's sacrifice fly.
He's been around long enough. He knows the situation. If Pilar takes off, he's not afraid to take a pitch, give Kevin a chance to get into scoring position.
Oh, he mentioned Pelfrey has now surrendered 20 stolen bases. So he's got to try to keep Pilar close at first.
He wants to go.
Yeah.
He's out there.
Well, I think he's got a good feel for Pelfrey's move now, he having been on base the last time he came to the plate.
There's a couple of things they can do. They can throw more fastballs to Barney, or they can pitch out. He's not going on that lead.
Fastball inside.
They can pitch out, they can throw over, they can step off, just upset the timing of that runner over there at first base.
Larry Rivera will have a steal sign, he'll have a green light sign, and he'll have a stop sign. If they don't want him to run, I think he's got the green light. Not running here. 2-0.
Well, it's all moot. If you're the pitcher, there's 2 outs. Get the hitter. Doesn't matter what the guy does on the bases, but he's fallen behind now.
Two balls and no strikes, 2 outs. Not running. Now it's 3-0. Now you got to make him throw a strike. No reason to run, obviously. Bautista is on deck. Infante probably had enough time to get ready by now.
This might be his last batter, if he can't throw him a strike.
3 balls and a strike to Barney. I think this is a must-run situation right here. 3-1, 2 outs.
Well, you take the chance to run right here, hoping that Barney hits an extra base hit, and you can score a run.
There goes Pilar. He stopped. He had a break and then saw the slide step and decided not to run. So now it'll be a full count with 2 outs, and he'll be moving on the pitch. (4-2) Blue Jays. We're in the 6th. Barney singles into center. Pilar races around second, and he stopped. It looked like he was headed for third, but realized that Garcia had gotten to the ball very quickly. Garcia has 7 outfield assists. Got a strong arm, and Pilar made a good play.
About 2 steps before he got to the bag, he stumbled. He's going on the thing, on the pitch, right there. And he said, you know what, I don't have my legs underneath me. And you're right, Garcia got to it quickly. He's going to hold up. You don't want to run into an out. And he gets back, and Pelfrey cannot finish 6 innings. That will end his night.
Infante indeed is ready, so Pelfrey's out of the game as Barney hits his 2nd hit. Gregory Infante will come into this ball game with 2 on and 2 outs to face Jose Bautista. 30-year-old Greg Infante from Venezuela comes in to make his 28th appearance of the season. He first came to the big leagues in 2010 with the White Sox, and this is his second go-round with the White Sox. It's been that gap from 10 to 17 that he has pitched in the major leagues. He has not pitched in the major leagues until this season, since 2010.
It's an interesting path to the big leagues for Infante. Signed by the Sox in 2006, released by the White Sox in 2012. Pitched with the Dodgers, the Phillies, re-signed with the White Sox. He's got a great arm. He's just been a little inconsistent in the strike zone.
Jose Bautista takes the first pitch breaking ball. Infante came into the ballgame on Saturday with runners on first and second in the 9th inning and hit the first 2 batters, allowing the winning run to score. So this is his first outing since Saturday. 0-1 to Bautista. Chases that breaking ball. Now it's 0-2.
Got a good fastball. His out pitch is a hard overhand curveball. But again, he needs some consistency.
Bautista is 0 for 3 so far. He was robbed of a home run in his last at bat by the right fielder, Alan Hansen. Hit one over the wall and right, and he went up and caught it over the top of the fence. Two and 2 now to Bautista. Blue Jays trying to add to their lead. They lead at 4-2 here in the 6th. Pilar walked with 2 outs, then Barney singled right behind him.
This is the Blue Jays' first look at Gregory Infante. The only batter who's had an at-bat against him is Luke Manley. He's on the disabled list, so the Blue Jays taking a look at him for the first time.
Another slider, no swing once again. So it'll be a full count with 2 outs, so the runners will be off on the pitch. A running start. Pilar from second, Barney from first. Martin is on deck. There go the runners. Bautista fouls it straight back.
Seeing a share of breaking balls from the right-hander. You give a hitter like Bautista many looks. You show him those sliders a few times. You make a mistake, it's going to hurt you.
Another full count pitch. Outside, ball 4. That'll load the bases for Russell Martin. So Infante comes in and walks the first batter, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out, Don Cooper, very quickly. Remember, Infante hit the first 2 batters he faced on Saturday, and now he walks Bautista here tonight.
You know, when you go from team to team like he has, and you're with the organization a couple times, there's a flaw in your game, and his flaw is just consistently cannot find the strike zone. He's got a fantastic arm. He's got good stuff. But when you're a little wild, it's tough to count on you in these situations. You know, excuse me, Buck, you know Russell is going to really grind out this at bat here. He's got some runners on, and he understands that this guy's had some problems throwing strikes. And if he gets one like this, Blue Jays are hoping he gets this resolved. That's his home run last night.
Infante spent the 2015 and 2014 season with Blue Jays in the minor leagues. In 14, he was the AA New Hampshire and Buffalo for a total of 41 games. First pitch, strike, down and away.
Maybe that was the message from Donnie Cooper. He jumped ahead of Bautista and then tried to throw all breaking balls. Maybe the message was, hey, you got a good fastball, use it.
Especially if you can throw it down and away like that. Another fastball misses. Yeah, I think that's probably exactly what Cooper said. Hey, listen, use your fastball. Pitch aggressively. We can't do anything if you're going to walk these guys. Breaking ball. Anderson can't make a play on it. Pilar's in to score. Here comes Barney to throw to the plate. Not in time. Russell Martin with a 2-run 2-out single to add to the Blue Jays lead.
Tim Anderson, the shortstop, is very athletic, but it looked like he mistimed his jump just a hair. I'm not saying he would have come up with it, but it would have been a little bit closer. Shortstop's got some athleticism. Breaking ball from Martin Rapp. You can see he's waiting. He started down. That the timing of that jump was just a little bit too early. As Russell stays with that breaking ball and gets it into the outfield softly in left field, Barney can score. It's now 6-2.
Marlins started with 2 outs and nobody on. Pelfrey walked Pilar. Barney got a base hit. Bautista walked, and now Russell Martin delivers the 2-out 2-run single. Josh Donaldson has had a perfect start to his night. Homer, sac fly, and a walk. Ball on the strike now to Donaldson. Blue Jays scored 2 in the 5th to break the tie. They've added 2 more here in the 6th.
Keep it coming. He's going to use that slider against Donaldson to finish him off.
High fly ball deep to center field. Garcia on the run. This one's going to be off the wall. Bautista's in to score. Martin's going to be stopped. With 2 outs, I thought Russell Martin should have scored on that high fly ball. It hit off the wall in center. Bautista scored from second, but Donaldson's had a terrific night.
That's it. He's going to try and throw that breaking ball to get Donaldson, but he made a huge mistake with it. Hung it to Josh, and he came oh so close to hitting his 2nd home run of the night. That ball is deep to center field. Thinks he's got enough of it. Russell's not running. Now he understands that there's 2 outs, and he can't score.
Yeah, with 2 outs, that ball's off the wall, and Russell should have scored from first. So here's Smoke. He's had a 2-hit night, including a home run. So a 3-run inning here in the 6th. In the dirt. Narvaez made a good block on that hard breaking ball in the dirt. So Donaldson's had a big 3 RBI night. He has scored a couple of runs. He homered in his first at bat, his 12th homer of the season.
How to play with the shift on and runners at 2nd and 3rd base. The only infielder on the left side of the infield is Saladino, and he is deep at shortstop. Russell can come at least halfway down that line. Infante has shown that he can bounce a breaking ball, so Russell can score on a short, wild pitch.
Up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. All this started, as we mentioned, with 2 outs and nobody on. Mike Pelfrey walked Kevin Pilar. Darwin Barney got a base hit that knocked Pelfrey out of the game. Strike 3 called. Smoke takes a fastball right down the middle. That ends the inning, but Russell Martin's really starting to swing it. Had a home run last night. Here he gets a 2-run single. Josh Donaldson would add another RBI, and the Blue Jays have taken a 7-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. As the Blue Jays have padded their lead, 3 big runs in the 6th, all coming with 2 outs, and Marcus Stroman now has a good, comfortable lead. 5 strong innings for Stroman. 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. He's thrown 62 pitches through 5 innings. Looking for his first win against the White Sox.
But he's got his old nemesis at the plate, Jose Abreu.
Abreu doubled to right his first time up and hit a line drive to the left fielder Steve Pearce in the 4th. He's 1 for 2.
Marcus is averaging right at 12 pitches an inning. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's had some quick innings. He retired the side in order in the 5th for the first time. He got a double play in the 2nd to face the minimum. That's Kevin Smith, who has come out on deck. He will bat for Matt Davidson. Abreu sees the ball well against Stroman. Leadoff single.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
All the way up to 79 miles an hour.
Chris Sale, not so much.
Not so much. This is Kevin Smith. He started behind the plate last night. He finished up the ball game 1 for 4. Matt Davidson was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning on the wrist, and evidently that's the reason they're making the change here. Davidson is the DH tonight, so Smith is batting for him here in the 6th.
Davidson, big home run hitter, leads the team in home runs. The White Sox, Marcus was trying to run that fastball in, and a lot of times players expose those hands on pitches up and in like that, and he gets hit.
Kevin Smith drives this one deep to center, and this is gone. Kevin Smith with a 2-run pinch hit home run. That's his 2nd home run of the season, and this White Sox team just won't give up. They come right back and answer the 3 runs in the top half of this inning.
Second pinch hit home run by a Chicago White Sox this season. It was 7-2. It's now 7-4. That was a long top of the inning that Marcus Stroman was sitting around. And he misses his spot again. They wanted it down and away. It's over the middle of the plate. Smith with the home run. It's now 7-4.
Nick Delmonico, making his major league debut, is 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and came around to score the first White Sox run. Hits this ball sharply, but right to the second baseman. Barney throws out Delmonico. You mentioned the second pinch hit home run of the season for the White Sox. The first was hit by Alan Hansen, the right fielder. Hansen hit that pinch hit home run batting left-handed. So the White Sox, they just won't give up. They trail by 3 now. 1 out. Tyler Saladino, the third baseman. The White Sox looking for their first 3-game winning streak since June 15th, 16th, and 17th. As we mentioned, they won just 6 games in the month of July. Their record in July, 6-18.
They have thrown up the white flag on the season, selling off a lot of their big league ball players.
There's a fly ball, not that deep. Pilar drifting back now. One thing about that Smith home run, they have now homered in 7 straight games, the White Sox, and it also snaps Marcus Stroman's streak of 6 games without allowing a home run. So the White Sox, who have had a tough stretch lately, they started selling off their players, trading their players on the 13th of July, and July turned into a 6-win month.
It became ugly. 30th last in major leagues. Wins, ERA average, second last in runs per game. I mean, they're full-fledged rebuild right now. They're going to go the way of, we're going to get rid of our best players. We're going to turn them into prospects, and hopefully in 2 or 3 years they're going to be up here helping out the major league team.
This is Omar Narvaez, who had a 2-run double in the 4th. Drove in the first 2 runs for Chicago. We had mentioned that Stroman had such a great streak over those previous 6 starts. He had allowed just 4 extra base hits. Tonight he's allowed 4 extra base hits in this game, 3 doubles and a home run.
You know the best part about tonight, though, Buck? I see nothing of Marcus with his finger. He's had some blister issues, and I think that really hurt him his last couple of starts, commanding the baseball. Haven't seen that tonight. He's been able to throw it where he wanted to. 6 walks in his last start against Oakland. That was in just 4 2/3 innings, and 5 walks in the previous start against Cleveland. Tonight he's been able to command everything. We haven't seen him worried about his finger.
Yeah, we have noticed it early in ball games, the last several starts, where he'd start looking at that middle finger of his pitching hand. No indications at all that it's been an issue tonight for him. Narvaez strikes out. That ends the inning, but the White Sox get a single from Abreu, a home run from the pinch hitter Kevin Smith. It's a 7-3 Blue Jays lead. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A statue of Pudge Fisk outside this beautiful ballpark. Fisk in the Hall of Fame, of course. Had a great run here with the White Sox. 7-4 Blue Jays as they are set to bat in the top of the 7th. Gregory Infante back out to start the inning. Boy, what a Donnybrook they've got going in Cleveland. It's 9-9. Kimbrel gave up a home run to Lindor. Joe Smith, a couple of good innings there for Cleveland.
Fenway Park. That's a Fenway Park home run for Lindor, right? Didn't you say he hit that to left field?
He hit it. I'm not sure where he hit it. He hit it as a left-handed hitter against Kimbrel. But his 17th home run. Fly ball to left center. You're right. Kendrys Morales. He is 0 for 2. He got hit by a pitch his first time.
He might have a short leash on Infante this inning if he gets a runner on base. After that home run by Smith, it pulls him within 3.
Juan Minaya loosening up for the White Sox. Two and two pitch. Sliced into the seats. You just don't really have a comfortable feeling about this game. 7-4, the Blue Jays have the lead, but we saw this White Sox team come back, scored 6 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Not been a very good night for pitchers. You look at that game in Boston. Chris Sale tagged for 8 hits, led to 7 earned runs over 5 innings. And the Indians starter, Carlos Carrasco, an inning and 2/3, 5 earned runs on 6 hits.
So Chris Sale is human.
Yes, he is human.
What's his ERA up to now?
All the way up to 270.
7 earnings. Max Scherzer had to leave his start.
The dog days of August get off to a shaky start for the pitchers. 3-2 pitch. Infante is set. Ball 4. He walked him. So leadoff walk here in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Kendrys Morales indeed had one of those 5 home runs surrendered by Craig Kimbrel. Lindor's got 17 home runs now. What a terrific young player. Here is Steve Pearce. He's 1 for 3. He goes after the pitch and drives it deep to center field. This ball is going to be off the wall. Morales is headed for third. He's being waved around third. Here's the relay throw from Sanchez. It is not in time. Kendrys Morales scores all the way from first base on the double by Steve Pearce. Pearce picks up his 2nd hit of the night. He has now driven in 33 runs for the season.
He has got some power to center field, in the right center field. When he stays inside the ball, he can really drive it a long way. First pitch fastball. You can see how the hands come through. And the ball goes out. Morales reads that this is going to be off the wall, so he takes off. And it doesn't ricochet right back to the center fielder initially. He had to go back to the warning track to get it. And that allows Morales to circle the bases. Blue Jays now have 10 hits.
Good job by Morales to read that well. Now it's Goins at the plate. Pierce hits second. Nobody out. Goins hits it through the left side. It's going to sneak past Anderson into left. Goins got jammed, and Pierce had to make sure it was through safely before he moves up to third base. So walk, double, single, and that's going to be it for Infante, as Rick Renteria has made the call already. Manager is out of the dugout. Renteria has called for Juan Minaya. So Infante walks the leadoff man and gives up an RBI double and a single, and he'll be out of this inning. Juan Minaya will come on as the Blue Jays have gotten the run back. They now have an 8-4 lead. Kendrys Morales getting some help from his teammate. Whistle for me, Kendrys, whistle. Juan Minaya will come on to make his 18th appearance of the season. He has had 8 scoreless appearances, but he's been given a tough assignment as there are runners at the corners, first and third, and no outs.
He's got a good arm. He can strike you out, but he can also walk you. He's claimed off waivers from the Astros last June 2016. He's got a big fastball. He can reach 98 miles an hour with it. A little bit of a slider and a curveball. But at times he too can get a little inconsistent. Blue Jays have some runners on the corners, hitting to bust this thing wide open.
So Gregory Infante gets just 1 out. He's given up 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out Smoke, the only out he recorded. So Kevin Pillar is 1 for 2. He walked in the 6th his last time up. 8-4 Blue Jays. First pitch strike to Pillar. Still nobody out. Now it's 1-1 to Kevin.
Chance to have not just a good night, chance to have a great night. Been on base a couple of times. He scored a run. He has stolen a base. Now he's got some RBI opportunities with runners on.
Little chopper up the third baseline and a little foul. Infante threw just 28 pitches, and he was tagged for 4 hits. He walked 2 batters. Pilar strikes out, waves at that breaking ball. That's the first out of the inning. So now when Barney will come in, here's the strikeout.
Knight uses that slider to get the out as Pilar is a little bit off balance trying to catch up to it. They have so many new relievers. This is the first look at these guys for a lot of these Blue Jays.
Darwin Barney is 2 for 3. He scored a pair of runs. Shows bunt, takes the bat back. Safety squeeze was on as Pierce dives back in safely at third. A safety squeeze, the base runner at third doesn't break until the ball is on the ground.
But he was coming down that line. Safety squeeze, you'd like to bunt the ball to the right side.
They took it off. It's 2-0. Now they can put it back on.
Yeah, good time to put it back on. Luis Rivera will go down and give Steve Pierce, the runner at third base, a verbal sign. Let him know if it's on again.
And throw to first.
Barney decoyed like it was on.
Barney shortened up on the bat as if he were going to bunt. That was after the fact, after that pitcher went to first. Three and 0. Control has been a problem, as you mentioned, for Manaya. Only 1 out. Three and 1 now.
Tough to put that on when you've got a pitcher.
Yeah, that's
Can't
wild.
Control.
Well, the benefit you have right now is there's 3 balls.
Yeah, if it's wide, let it go.
Yeah.
Runner's not coming. It's not a suicide squeeze. It was a safety squeeze on that first pitch. So if you're Darwin Barney and you get it again and it's a ball, just take it.
Yeah, this is a good time to put it back on. 3 and 1. Goins at first. Barney swings away. High fly ball, shallow left field. Shortstop is out. Right fielder calls for it, and Pierce bluffs. The throw comes all the way into home, and the runners hold as Barney pops out to the left fielder. So Manaya gets a strikeout and a pop-up. He came in with no outs and runners at the corners. Two and 0 to Bautista. Three and 0. Omar's got a better chance.
Give him the green light.
Yeah, he needs it.
I forgot to look.
Okay, he works. Welcome back. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We have witnessed a Jose Bautista walk. Now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. So Minaya, in relief of Infante, has struck out Pilar, got Barney to pop out the left fielder, and he walked Bautista. Now the bases are loaded for Russell Martin, who delivered a clutch 2-out, 2-run single his last time up.
Had the bases loaded in his last at bat and got a base hit. You haven't missed anything. Minaya very careful with Bautista.
Martin goes after the first pitch, and it's a fly ball to right that ends the inning. The Blue Jays leave the bases loaded, but they score another run. They lead at 8-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th here in Chicago. That tied it. Okay. 1-2 to Anderson. Anderson strikes out. That's 5 strikeouts. Marcus Stroman now has words with Anderson as the benches are going to come off, and Anderson took exception to what Stroman was doing, and now James Shields has gotten out there in Stroman's face, and both teams coming off the bench, and here comes the bullpens. Goins has his arm around Stroman, walking him back to the mound, and Rick Renteria is telling his troops to get back in the dugout. Same for Jose Abreu. But Stroman, there was a pitch to Anderson that the umpire called time again after Stroman had started his delivery. And then Stroman said something. I don't know who he was talking to, but he was talking to somebody, and Anderson interpreted it to mean he was getting on him. Watch this now.
He strikes him out.
Strikes him out.
Doesn't say anything to him, and maybe Anderson says something to him. Looking back at him, Marcus recognizes that he's staring at him, and that starts it.
Yeah. So Anderson strikes out, but it was the pitch before that the umpire called timeout. Now the umpires are convening, having a little bit of a conference out on the mound. I don't know what they're going to do. They're not going to do anything, just let the players sort things out. But Stroman began his delivery.
I bet you Anderson called timeout, told the umpire he wanted time because he hesitated again.
And that happened earlier in the game, and David Rackley, an umpire, granted time to the hitter, and it was not appropriate. Now let's take a look at this. Is the situation here as Stroman had started his delivery, and for a second time tonight David Rackley granted timeout.
That Marcus was saying something on the mound there. We can't see that from that shot,
but he was upset. It happened earlier in the game, and he had done this. We've seen him do this all year long, where he will start his delivery and then take a hesitation, and then this is the strikeout pitch. So nothing happened. It's all over, and there's one out here in the bottom of the 7th. Alan Hansen is 1 for 2. He had a bloop double down the left field line in the 3rd inning.
Tell you what, it got the crowd fired up.
Yeah, it did.
Got them back into the ball game.
Woke up the bullpens. They had to run out.
Good changeup. I haven't seen too many changeups from Marcus. That was a good one there.
He's got all the weapons for sure.
Hansen's had problems with that slider. He might get one right here.
He got the slider, but he's able to foul it off and stay alive. Popped up on the infield. Donaldson backing up. He makes the catch. 2-away. B. Walker out to talk as who's throwing? Tepera? Yep.
Last batter.
Should be. Yeah, you can't let radio face him again.
Yeah, you got to get this guy right here.
Yep. Yep. You got to get this. Is his 22nd start. If he can get through 7, that's only the 8th time he's pitched 7 or more
this season. This season.
Yeah. Okay. Yomer Sanchez, don't hit a homer, Yomer. Joe Smith might get that win, right?
Did he pitch the 9th?
I think he did. Yeah, he pitched 2 innings. Pitched the 8th and the 9th. No. Yeah, but he's the pitcher record, so he pitched the 7th and 8th.
They scored in the 9th.
Yeah, he's in line for the win.
Now it's in the bottom of the 9th.
Yep. Cody Allen.
Oh, that should be interesting. Man.
Yeah, this is his last batter. 2-1. So they've used Olson, Otero, Shaw, Miller, Smith, and Allen.
He had 62 pitches at the end of 5. Trying to get, he's now up to 95. 33 pitches.
In an inning and 2/3. Six triples.
He's going to talk himself into the 8th, but Gibby just gave him the handshake.
He just can't help himself.
Right.
He just had to holler back over to White Sox.
And that's called.
As we are glad to be back with you now, we go to the top half of the 8th inning. It'll be Donaldson, Smoke, and Morales. The big hitters for the Blue Jays, as Donaldson and Smoke have both gone deep tonight. JD has 3 RBIs. He had an RBI double in the 6th. He had a sac fly in the 3rd. Hit a solo home run in the 1st. Justin Smoke has a 2-run home run. That came in the 5th. Blue Jays have an 8-4 lead as they are batting in the 8th. Ball and a strike to Donaldson. David Holmberg loosening up in the White Sox bullpen. Two and one now.
Middle lineup for the Blue Jays has been good tonight. 2-3-4. Throw in Morales with a walk and a run scored. He was hit by a pitch. That's where they've got most of their offense tonight.
Strike right at the bottom of the zone. It's now 2-2 to Donaldson leading off the 8th. Upstairs, full count.
A lot of 3-2 counts tonight from the White Sox pitchers. Falling behind. Even when they jump ahead, Infante was jumping ahead against the Blue Jays, but just couldn't finish him off. It'd be 3-2.
Donaldson called out on a borderline pitch. That's the first out of the inning. That'll bring Smoke to the plate. Drive of the game is brought to you by the Honda Checkered Flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
Justin Smoke is going to step to the plate, and once again he's going to hit a home run deep into the night in right field. Fastball out over the plate. It lands into the first row. His 31st home run of the season. It's going to be tonight's drive of the game once again, and this time he's going to come around and hit right-handed.
We see teams do this more often than not, and it's a real surprise. Smoke is swinging it as a right-handed hitter, so Holmberg in to face Justin Smoke. Blue Jays with an 8-4 lead. Of the season, the righties have hit 229, and he's got reverse splits.
Lefty's a little bit higher, 274. He was their second-round draft pick 8 years ago. He got to get ahead of hitters. Doesn't really overthrow. Doesn't blow it by you. He relies on control and command of his 4 pitches. This could work out for Justin Smoke from this side. He's one of the best in all of baseball from the right side.
Smoke batting against lefty pitching, hitting .402 with 6 home runs. But they constantly bring in the lefties to pitch to him.
He says, I've got a natural swing right-handed. I'm a better average hitter from the right side. I've got a little bit more power from the left side, and it averages out. He hasn't had nearly as many at bats against a left-handed pitcher as he has against a right-handed pitcher.
82 at bats against lefties prior to this one. Breaking ball in the dirt. Ryan Tepera is loosening up for the Blue Jays, and you want to get him right back up on the horse quickly. He had a rough outing last night, gave up a home run to Yolmer Sanchez and then got 2 outs, but you'd like to see him come right back in there tonight. Erase the memory of that home run. 8-4 Blue Jays. We're in the 8th inning with 1 out. Popped up on the infield. Abreu, the first baseman, calls for it, makes the catch in the outfield grass. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Just another wonderful game at Fenway Park. How about that? 12-10. Kimbrough hits a blown save but picks up his 3rd win of the season. He gives up 2 runs on 3 hits. Cody Allen, he only got 2/3 of an inning under his belt as Morales slaps that one into right field for a base hit. Joe Smith was in line for the win. He had gone 2 innings, allowed no runs on 1 hit. Cody Allen came in trying to protect a 10-9 lead and gives up a 3-run bomb.
Welcome to Boston. That's the way things are over there. Kendrys Morales is just like Justin Smoke. He's got a higher batting average from the right side than he does from the left side. That base hit will add to his .333 average hitting against lefties.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised they brought in the lefty to turn these guys around. And now you got to deal with Steve Pearce. Pearce this season has not hit well against left-handed pitching, just a .224 average, but in the past that has been his calling card.
He is going to be the Blue Jays everyday left fielder, according to John Gibbons. He was saying we're going to play Bautista, Pilar, and Pearce. We're going to try and sprinkle in Carrera when we can.
Changeup is pulled foul. And then Aoki, Nori Aoki, just joined the club today, and he will be given some opportunities, but not a lot of opportunities. Aoki, a veteran, he is in his 6th season in the big leagues.
I tell you, it's tough in the middle of a season getting traded to a new team, meeting all new friends. That ball's going to go foul.
Well, it is especially difficult for a foreign player like Aoki. He's in his 6th season. He made his debut with the Brewers in 2012 after 8 seasons in Japan. But you can see he's conversing with Bautista and Montero, and he can hold the conversation. But when he has an interview, he chooses to use an interpreter. Make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes, or the interpreter gets his message across as Pearce gets hit by a pitch.
0-2. Trying to run that 87-mile-an-hour fastball inside, and he loses his spot. I guess if you're going to get hit, that's where you want to get hit. Looks like I got Steve in the backside. Let's see.
So Pearce will be lifted for the pinch runner Carrera. Pearce's night comes to an end. He had a couple of hits in 4 official at bats, and he got hit by a pitch. Pearce picked up an RBI with a double in the 7th inning. So he gives way to the pinch runner Ezekiel Carrera. Brian Goins, he's 1 for 4. Goins pops it up over near the seats, and it's going to be over the screen, out of play. .209 for the season for Goins. He has driven in 36 runs.
A lot of at-bats tonight for the Blue Jays. They have not had offensively one 1-2-3 inning. They have kept the pressure on all night long against White Sox pitching.
Now it's 1-2 to Goins. 2 outs. We're in the 8th. Blue Jays took an early lead. Josh Donaldson drove in both of the first 2 runs of the game, had a home run in the first and a sac fly in the 3rd. And Smoke added a home run in the 5th, a 2-run shot. Russell Martin's had a 2-run single. Ball goes all the way back to the backstop. Runners will move up. This is where Goins does his best work.
Get guys in scoring position. Stand some guys on that bases and get a chance to drive them in. His best pitch, Holmberg, is a changeup, off-speed pitch. Now that's what Ryan should be sitting on right here.
2-2 to Goins. He pops this one up and it's playable. Abreu, the first baseman, calls for it, and Goins pops out. The Blue Jays strand a pair. Will go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 8-4 Jays. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio. Five starts against the Chicago White Sox. He was 0-3 coming into this game, but he had everything working, got off to a good start, and got some good early support from his offense.
Yeah, and he got some ground ball double plays also. A double play to end the 2nd inning helped him out. He had the one bad inning where he gave up a couple of runs on a hit, a single, a double, and a fielder's choice. But overall, Marcus pitches 7 innings. He gives up 4 hits, just 1 walk. Remember, he had walked 11 batters in his last 2 starts, just 1 walk tonight. Saw nothing with the problems with the finger tonight, which is always very encouraging. So his night is over. Ryan Tepera will take over. Ryan was pitching in last night's ball game. There are his numbers. He's 5-1 with 3.5 earned run average. Ryan pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up a home run to Sanchez. So he's right back out there again. Another defensive change for the Blue Jays. Ezekiel Carrera takes over in left field after he pinch ran for Steve Pearce.
Jose Abreu has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. He doubled in the first, lined out to left field in the 4th, and singled and scored in the 6th. The pair jams Abreu. Goins, the shortstop, makes the catch. 1 away.
You know, Buck, we just talked about Stroman, and we talked how Marcus threw 7 innings, and he did it economically. He did it in less than 100 pitches, and John Gibbons gets him out of there with an 8-4 lead. So Marcus looks like he might have turned the corner.
Well, he gave up a home run to this man, Kevin Smith. Smith came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning and hit a 2-run pinch hit home run. And he's got himself a hit. He went out to that first pitch and lines it into right, so he's 2 for 2. But the home run snapped a streak of 7 straight games without allowing a home run.
Did not allow one in the month of July. First day of August, he gives up the 1. Smith is 2 for 2. He took over for Matt Davidson, who had to leave the game after getting hit on the arm with a pitch.
Nick Delmonico, making his major league debut, has gone 0 for 3. Delmonico was drafted by the Orioles. He went to high school in Knoxville, Tennessee. Of course, his father was the Tennessee coach, University of Tennessee, for 18 seasons. And he was thought to be a first-round talent, but he had signed a letter of intent to go to University of Georgia.
What?
Yeah, well, he wasn't going to stay in Tennessee and go there. You know, the Delmonico name was so prominent at University of Tennessee. Tell you what, I haven't seen him play before, but it looks like he's got a chance. He's got a good build. He runs well. We've seen him move around the bases. He's hit a couple of balls hard. He was robbed of his first big league hit by Justin Smoke.
And it looks like he's got some extra base pop too. Looking at his numbers in AAA, 33 extra base hits this season. Always love to see young kids come up and get their first game action. We had a shot of him earlier after he caught his first ball in the outfield, tipping his cap to his teammates.
Little looper into center. Pilar coming hard. That's going to be the first big league hit for Nick Delmonico. And who says it doesn't even out? He was robbed of a hit earlier on a nice play by Smoke, and here he hits a little looper into center for his first big league hit. Congratulations.
There's nothing like it. Take that ball, mark it up, put the date on it, who you got your hit off of, and then put it in your trophy case. What a great feeling.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good at-bats here tonight. His first big league game, and I'm sure his father is very pleased with that. So now it's 1st and 2nd. Tyler Saladino, the third baseman. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Over the last 8 games against the Oakland A's, the bullpen was terrific. Just 4 hits in 16 1/3. But against the Angels and the White Sox, a little different story. 21 hits in 14 2/3 and 14 earned runs. They gave up 6 earned runs last night in 3 innings of work.
4 games against Oakland and 4 games, 3 against Los Angeles and one against Chicago. Good numbers. And they have been really good lately. The Blue Jays bullpen. They've added some depth down there. They felt like they had some depth. In fact, they thought they had so much depth that they were able to trade one of their guys, Joe Smith, out of that bullpen.
Oh, 0-2. Way outside. Just one out here. Dominic Leone loosening up. Jake Petrichka, probably the most successful and effective reliever in their bullpen. Little flare behind second. That's going to drop. They're waving Smith in from second, and he is going to be out. Oh, man. Kevin Pillar made a terrific throw. And the White Sox have a runner cut down at the plate. Nice hustle by Pillar to come in there. That ball wasn't hit that sharply. Smith was waved around third. Kind of surprising they would gamble right there in that situation as they're starting to put some hits together.
Yeah, and where they are in the lineup, you don't want to be running into any outs. Pillar all the way to the plate, and he's out. I'm very surprised that they sent the catcher, who is DHing tonight, from second base. When you're down by 4 runs, Russell Martin gives them a lane to slide to, catches it, applies the tag. Kevin Pillar with his 8th outfield assist. All right, the defense picking up.
Second out of the inning now. Narvaez. He had a 2-run double in the 4th inning. I think what the third base coach, Magallanes, thought maybe Pillar was going to concede the run given the score and say, you know what, we'll score this guy and they won't make a throw. But Pillar crossed him up.
That's why you play it out. You play the game the right way. You play hard all the way. You don't take anything for granted. Ooh.
Yeah, that got right down on that handle and he broke his bat. Narvaez with a new piece of lumber. Saladino at first, Delmonico at second. They both singled. In fact, there were 3 singles in a row off to pair after the first batter popped out. Two and two now.
Perez got a good fastball, 95. That beat with that home run on it. Looked like a slider or a cutter that stayed over the middle of the plate. If he can bury it right here, he can get a strikeout.
Upstairs. It's a full count. There are 2 outs, so the runners will be running on the pitch. Tim Anderson 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He will bat if Narvaez can keep the inning alive. Foul out of play. The runners will go back.
When you throw that hard like he is throwing, I think with a 4-run lead, you got to challenge him. And he did on that pitch, and he was late. Ryan trying to rub up that baseball to get a good grip.
Another full count pitch. There go the runners. Cut on and miss. But Tepera gets out of it. He gives up 3 singles, but he strands a pair of base runners. Kevin Pillar threw out a runner at the plate to help out Tepera.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda VersaTach. Meet our ultimate yard work companion with up to 7 interchangeable attachments.
We have reached the 9th inning here in Chicago. It's 8-4 Blue Jays. White Sox have 4 runs on 10 hits, but they trail by 4. Kevin Pillar with a terrific throw to gun down Kevin Smith, trying to score from second. Picks up his 8th outfield assist of the season. David Holmberg stays in the game and delivers a first pitch strike.
On that play, Buck, that he threw out that runner at the plate, you got to have some good communication skills in the outfield, where the other defenders are telling Pillar, hey, home, home, home. He's trying to go home. He's concentrating on the baseball, trying to come in and field the ball. The other defenders become his eyes, and they tell him where to throw the baseball. He knows right now that he's got to come up firing, and he does. It's a short throw because he was playing shallow and he charged hard. I mean, all of those things go into making a play like that. And who knows, the way that inning was starting to unfold, it started to remind me of the 8th inning last night.
And Kevin Pillar draws the leadoff walk. The White Sox pitchers have now walked 7. Chris Beck picked up the win in last night's game. He had a 1-2-3 9th inning and set up the comeback.
You know what the White Sox pitchers have done on top of all those walks that you were just talking about? They've thrown a lot of pitches. They're closing in on 200 pitches in this game.
Belfray threw 103 and Fonte threw 28 in 1/3 of an inning. Manaea threw 20. Holmberg's thrown 17 now. Darwin Barney's had a good night. A couple of hits in 4 trips. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back.
Pillar's got a stolen base tonight. He's been on base 3 times.
There goes Pilar. Got a good jump. Throw from Narvaez is in time. Good tag by Sanchez at second. Pilar gunned down on a strong throw from the catcher, Omar Narvaez. So Pilar is the first out of the inning.
Devitt is leaving as the Blue Jays take a look. There's the tag. Sanchez elects to come in front of the bag, make the catch, and then swipe back at the runner. And Kevin has that mitt on the bag, but the Blue Jays aren't going to look at it. Or are they?
Yeah, they are.
They are going to look at it.
Larry Vanover is the crew chief, and they are going to have a look at it. Laz Diaz, the next most senior umpire, will join him as Vanover made the call at second. Pilar gave up the base, but it looked like he may have been safe. I'm not sure if the tag was put on his shoulder.
Yeah, I was watching to see if his jersey moved, indicating when the tag was made and where that mitt was. See if we can see on this replay right here as Sanchez swipes back. Watch the jersey. See it start to move. The question is he on the bag?
Didn't take long for the umpires to come up with a decision. He is out. There's the tag just before his hand hits the base, and he is indeed out. So the call on the field is upheld. So that's the 8th base stealer that Narvaez has thrown out this season. 1 out. Darwin Barney with a 2-1 count. Now it's 2-2.
Thought the Blue Jays might wait a pitch and then try and play hit and run with Pilar. Stay aggressive, try to get an add-on run. As a manager, when you went into the 9th inning, didn't you want to have more than a 4-run lead? Stay away from that
grand slam. Yep.
The grand slam. Blue Jays trying to get that add-on run here.
Holmberg came in with 1 out in the 8th inning. He gave up a single, hit a batter, but it was able to get out of it. Full count. Jose Bautista has walked the last 2 times he's come to the plate. Bouncing ball. Saladino throws quickly, and nice play at first. Some fancy footwork by Jose Abreu as he went into foul ground, but maintained contact with the bag.
He's had to do that a couple of times tonight, and in this series, that throw starting to take him into the runner instead of trying to reach around the runner. What you do is you shuffle your feet. You go from your left foot on there to the right foot, and he's able to get out of the way just in time before Darwin Barney roars across the base.
2 outs for Jose Bautista. Breaking ball for strike 1. Blue Jays have 12 hits. Fly ball into shallow right. This is going to be a tough play, and it's going to drop for Bautista. His first hit.
Jose's popped the ball up a couple of times down the right field line. I love what I saw from Narvaez, the catcher. He was going to go behind Bautista, just in case Jose had a little bit of a wide turn at first base. He was going to be there. In fact, they had the pitcher and the catcher there. Here's the hit down the right field line. And first base is unoccupied as Abreu goes out there. And Narvaez goes behind the runner, and he was right there.
Yeah, that's a terrific effort by Narvaez. You don't see it very often, but it should be common practice, especially on those balls hit a little bit deeper to right field. That base runner thinks he's got a chance to go to second, and the first baseman's out of the picture, second baseman's out in the outfield, and that catcher can trail that runner.
How many times have you seen a runner trying to act like he's going to go there and have that big wide turn, knowing that first base was unoccupied, that he's just going to bluff like he's going to go to second base? Catcher's not doing anything. Don't want to be standing down there. Jose takes the wide turn. There's the catcher and the pitcher coming hard.
Yeah, and that's a good job by the catcher to get down there. You got nowhere else to go. Might get you an out. Might get you out of the inning. Russell Martin with a 1-1 count. Now it's 1-2. Russell's had a 2-run single in the 6th inning. He drove in the 5th and 6th runs of this ball game. Well, he's called out on strikes, and that ends the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays with a 4-run lead.
Part of an hour talking to Roberto Osuna. Howell told me Osuna just needed someone to listen to what was on his mind today. As a veteran, Howell always wants to find out whether the issues with young players, if not mechanical, are coming from pressure. Howell didn't want to break Osuna's confidence. What he could share with me was that sometimes young players have this love-hate relationship with pressure. If it's a confidence issue, Howell said, that's an easy fix, but if you don't have a good relationship with pressure in a high-stress job, that could prove to be troublesome. But in the end, he said, being able to have someone to talk to, Buck, can do wonders for a young player.
Absolutely. We've seen that the last couple of years, the way that Troy Hawkins came over here a couple of years ago, and Mark Lowe in the bullpen, they really solidified the pen. And then last year it was Jason Grilli, and this year J.P. Howell serves that role as the veteran down that bullpen to provide some leadership.
Invaluable having guys to lean on like that who've been through the wars. Dominic Leone will take over for the Blue Jays. There's J.P. What a wonderful addition. You know he wants to contribute on the mound. He's just had to battle some injuries this year as Osuna's just getting loose in case Leone can't finish this off. But invaluable to have a veteran like that to lean on.
Dominic Leone to Tim Anderson, throws ball 1. Anderson, the shortstop, in the 8th position. Of course, the guy you want to keep your eye on, Jose Abreu. He's in the 3rd position. He's 5 batters away. This is a fly ball down the right side. Bautista was shaded in that direction. He moves into foul ground and makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Caroline Cameron and Ken Reed. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out myself. But that's all coming up right after this game, so make sure you stay tuned and check it all out. Lots of going on, including a dramatic 9th inning in Boston, Cleveland and Boston, and it was quite a finish. Alan Hansen, the right fielder. He had a double. He also robbed Bautista of a home run. A nice catch, jumping up high over the wall in right to pull the home run back. Not very often that you see both of the Chicago teams playing at home, but that's the case tonight as the Cubs are pounding on the Diamondbacks 16-3. They're in the 9th inning at Wrigley.
John Lester went deep in that game, the pitcher for the Cubs.
He didn't go deep enough from pitcher's perspective.
Did he throw 4 innings? Did I
Yeah,
see?
he was out of the game after 4 innings. There's a strike. It's 2-2. Lester went 4 innings, charged with 3 earned runs on 5 hits. He had 9 strikeouts. Lester threw 104 pitches in 4 innings.
Whoa. Now you know why he was out.
Strike 3 called as Leon strikes out Hanson. 2 quick outs here in the 9th.
Dominic has been pitching well for the Blue Jays, using that fastball, hard breaking ball combination. This time he crosses up Alan Hanson. Hanson's looking for the breaking ball. It takes fastball right down the middle.
So the Blue Jays 1 out away from evening a series, a game apiece. Larry Garcia is 1 for 4 tonight. Marcus Stroman in line for the win. It would be his first win against the Chicago White Sox. This is his 6th start against Chicago. He was 0-3 coming into this game. Stroman had rough outings in his previous 2 starts here in Chicago. He pitched just a total of 5 2/3 over those 2 starts and gave up 12 hits.
His ERA was about 6.5 against the White Sox in his career. Much better tonight.
Marcus 4 earned runs on 7 hits over 7 innings. He threw 99 pitches. He had his homerless streak snapped here in his 7th game. He was keeping the ball in the ballpark 6 straight starts without allowing a home run. One and 2. Outside, it's 2-2.
97 with the fastball from Dominic Leone. Dominic last worked when the ball club was back home 4 days ago, so he is well rested, and his fastball is showing why.
That's a fair ball past Smoke down the right field line into the corner. Garcia is headed toward third, and he's going to get there without a throw. Larry Garcia with his 2nd triple of the season hit it past Smoke, and when it got down in that corner, he was headed for third all the way.
He's got enough speed. If it is hit hard enough by the first baseman, which it is, and it's able to get by the outfielder and into the corner with his speed, he's going to outrun it and make it easily without a throw to third base. Good turn there. Takes one more look over his shoulder, and he can break it down and jog into third base with the stand-up triple.
Leon comes right back with a strike to Sanchez. Second baseman Sanchez 0 for 4. Fly ball to left field. Carrera on the warning track, and that's the ball game. Dominic Leone pitches the 9th inning, gives up a triple and nothing more, and the Blue Jays have evened the series at a game apiece. And tonight it was all about the offense and a strong performance from Marcus Stroman.
It started with Marcus Stroman, 7 innings. He gave up 4 hits and 7 runs, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk. And then the middle of the lineup for the Blue Jays, Martin was on a couple times. Donaldson drove in 3 runs. Smoke with another home run. He had a couple of hits and 2 more RBIs, and the Blue Jays pick up a